Today I'm in Hong Kong, China at the world's biggest Bitcoin conference in all of Asia to dive deep into the world of cryptocurrency and learn why Bitcoin is quickly taking over the financial industry. I got my whale pass with me, I got my blue light blockers on, aka the Bitcoin goggles, and I'm gonna take you behind the scenes and show you everything.
We have to focus on our day job and let the money go by itself, grow by itself. And money doesn't do that anymore, right? That's why we invest in Bitcoin. We accumulate Bitcoin, whatever we earn, the amount, into Bitcoin, and it's growing itself.
So we just wrapped up the first keynote of Bitcoin Asia, and it was all about why millennials can actually take advantage of Bitcoin and use it to not only store their money, but actually use it to appreciate their value in the marketplace and preserve their purchasing power. Because one of the points that all of the panelists made was that our generation, as millennials, I'm 31, I don't know about you watching this video, but a lot of the days today, nobody can afford homes or apartments, right? So one gentleman on the stage, his name was Brian as well, funny enough, and he said he lives in South Korea. Apparently you can work 20 years, okay, at a job and still not be able to afford an apartment. Do you know how crazy that is? Working 20 years at a job, maybe post-college, you spent the first 18 years of your life, getting an education, learning some skills potentially, and then you work until you're 48 years old in South Korea, and you can't even afford an apartment for yourself, right? That's insane. And so obviously that tells us, you watching this video, one thing: the money is broken. Because our older generation, our parents, or even our grandparents, they were able to have a more sound money back when the dollar was backed by gold. So they could actually afford things for cheaper. But today, the price is going to continue rising. And so the one takeaway that I got not only from that is that Bitcoin allows us to not only use it as a wealth investment, but also to store our purchasing power. And more importantly, we can actually be able to not try to time the market. Most people today still think they've missed the boat. They think, okay, you know what? It's too much. I'm gonna wait till it dips. I'm gonna buy back in when it crashes. But the reality is, it might not ever go back down. And instead of trying to time the market, I want you to remember one thing. There's a lot more broke traders that try timing markets that aren't full-time financial advisors competing with people like BlackRock. So let me ask you a very simple question. If you know there's way more broke traders than there are rich, profitable traders that just simply actually make the money like BlackRock, what would you rather do? Would you rather try to time the market? Or would you just rather put some money in now, get skin in the game, and DCA every single week while you work your full-time job, or you continue building your business, you continue growing your brand, adding value to the marketplace, and let the compound effect of Bitcoin, the finite scarcity of Bitcoin, do its thing as it's supposed to, as it's intended to, as it's designed to? I don't know about you, but I know what I'll do. So far to me, my experience has been nothing but phenomenal. The people are nice. The level of technology you guys have here is insane. I'm actually very surprised at just the infrastructure alone. I'm starting to realize I'm a little nervous, let's just say it like that, because I think we've been propagandized as Americans to think that, especially China, is like this sort of, kind of scary enemy potentially, right? And technically they are not an ally of the US, obviously, but I think that's a bad thing. Because I think that if the US continues to not actually take advantage of what's happening here, like we're about to learn with Asia and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's gonna put us at a unique disadvantage in the future. I think that the more you pay attention to where the world's heading, it's actually doing yourself a disservice if you continue to ignore Asia and what they're building.
So these aren't just plans, this is happening today. So the question isn't if Asia is in motion, it's will Asia be the leader?
So now I'm gonna give you a quick behind the scenes of everything happening at Bitcoin Asia. Behind me is actually the MetaPlanet booth. And MetaPlanet is one of the largest Bitcoin strategic treasury companies on the planet right now. There's MicroStrategy, now Strategy, which is Michael Saylor, obviously, who has almost 600,000 plus Bitcoin. Well, Metaplanet is giving them a run for their money. They won't catch up, I don't believe, because there's only so much Bitcoin, obviously, but they are the biggest treasury company in Asia specifically. So their booth obviously is pretty sick. They got a whole world that's just spinning around here. Pretty cool. Now behind me, actually behind you, I should say, is where they're doing a live stream of the Bitcoin conference. So they have a number of guest speakers that'll come up there and talk about Bitcoin all throughout the conference. They'll do interviews, live talks, price predictions, all those things. And you can stream that on YouTube for free, but you can tell that this is a massive production. Like, it's not just people that are here to, promote their company, but everybody's promoting everything, which is pretty cool. So it's really awesome to see. All right, so now we're gonna go check out this pizza swap thing. I have no idea what pizza swap is. Oh, check this out. Oh, Bitcoin art. Boss. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's sick. That's actually dope. That'd be a great art piece to put at home. Check this one out. It's like a luxury design knockoff for Bitcoin. Louis Vuitton, Nakamoto, Prada, Bitcoin, Fendi, Bitcoin, Tiffany & Co, Bitcoin & Co. That's awesome. All right, check this one out. Okay, so you see how they had the Campbell's tomato soup, right? You can see in 2009, it only cost 68 cents for Campbell's tomato soup. In 2025, today, it's $1.25 for the same soup, almost double the price, right? Now, that's in dollars, okay? That's about 14 years difference. It basically 100x, right? 100% more. Then 2025 priced in Bitcoin, okay? That Campbell's soup right now is worth 0.000012 of a Bitcoin, okay? In 2030, it'll be 0.000005 of a Bitcoin. And then in 2039, it'll be 0.000002 of a Bitcoin, which means what? Which means that everything will continue to rise in price when it comes to dollars, fiat currency, but in Bitcoin, it'll continue to drop. So what does that tell you? It means that if you store your purchasing power and your money in Bitcoin, everything will trend to zero. Everything will get cheaper when priced in Bitcoin. So not only is that just a perfect art piece to reflect that, but that's a reminder while you have it in your home, if you want to buy it, that everything gets cheaper when you save your money in Bitcoin. All right, so I was just talking to this Russian dude named Edgar. He came up to me because of my my CEO ticket or whatever. He was telling me that he does mining, and he was saying he makes about 250 grand a month mining, and he profits about 125 grand. And he doesn't have any team members really. He just sets up the miners. He has a facility in Russia, and he says the entire company is apparently one of the top 3 miners in the entire country or the entire world, which is pretty crazy. So again, I don't know much about mining, unfortunately. I'm learning more and more about it. But one of the biggest questions I had for him that he sort of answered, but again, it was a language barrier. He speaks Russian, he doesn't really speak good English, was the profitability of mining, right? So he was telling me that it doesn't matter that there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin left. It will continue to be profitable. And because he's one of the top 3, it kind of makes sense as why. So really interesting conversation, really interesting guy. Anyways, I'm going to head into the Deep VIP lounge now and go catch a talk on Bitcoin and AI and why I believe those 2 things are going to disrupt the future. And those are the future, obviously. So I'm going to learn what they're going to have to say about it. And then afterwards, Jube and I are going to head out of here and go get some lunch. So I'll catch you back in a second.
You understand Bitcoin, the money supply is transitioning, but it's more than that.
All right, so we just finished up the first half of day 1 at the Bitcoin Asia conference, and I just got done listening to Mark Moss speak on a panel in the VIP lounge where he was speaking with another person that I can't remember his name off the top of my head, so I apologize. They were talking about the future of Bitcoin and AI because, as you know, there was a few takeaways that I want to share with you. The first is not your keys, not your drones. Okay, you've always heard this if you're a crypto, someone that owns crypto or Bitcoin specifically, obviously, not your keys, not your coins. Not your keys, not your drones. What does that mean? Well, it means that Bitcoin's very decentralized, right? It means that nobody can control Bitcoin, but the government is controlled, right? It's centralized. Now, in a world where AI will continue to rapidly accelerate everything, and more importantly, the government will continue to print more money to fund everything that they want, drone warfare is actually something that's happening right in front of our eyes. They're using drones now to, basically play out military drone strikes and to inflict war on other countries. Now think about this. In a world where the cost of war will continue to decrease, potentially, obviously, and the more security risk that actually poses to the governments. Because the governments, the Pentagon has been hacked in the past, right? They have been hacked on occasion. And so when you compare that to the blockchain, specifically the Bitcoin blockchain, which has never been hacked, it's one of the most secure networks over the last 16 years. So they hypothesized that eventually the drones will have to be basically put onto or digitized onto the blockchain so that way it can avoid being hacked by opposing countries or enemies in the future. That way it can be actually safe for them to carry out drone strikes, essentially. So they're gonna have to use the blockchain to avoid being hacked, which is very interesting. So that was a very interesting take that I wanted to share with you, but ultimately, the other one was location, not allocation. What does that mean? Well, it means most people think, okay, it's about how much Bitcoin you actually own. What's your allocation in your portfolio? But the real key to true sovereignty in the future is going to be location. Where do you live? How many passports do you have? Are you able to move freely from this country to the next? Are you able to live in an area or a city that's actually pro-community, pro-cryptocurrency, pro-Bitcoin, pro-freedom, pro-sovereignty? Because in the future where, again, governments potentially might be more controlling, might be more centralized, you want to be residing in a country or multiple countries that actually pay attention to you, your family, your freedoms, and your values. And so they threw out 3 different countries that could be potential good fits for this: Dubai, El Salvador, even Hong Kong, right? These 3, Hong Kong, Dubai, and El Salvador could be good potential locations that you might want to look into to move your family as the world continues to becoming more AI and blockchain and Bitcoin focused. And then last but not least, Mark Moss threw out some fire at the very end, which was talking about basically the value you create. There's creators and then there's consumers. 2 types of people in the world. And if you don't have a lot of money, he said, it's because you haven't created a lot of value for the world. Think about that for a second. If you don't have a lot of money, it's probably because you haven't created a lot of value for the world. Now, of course, that could be controversial because, as we know, and why I'm making this content and why I make these videos, is because they just print more money, which devalues you and mine and our savings. So people could be working, a lot, providing value, right? But the currency keeps getting manipulated, keeps getting printed, which decreases their value. And ultimately, it's why we're at this conference right now, because Bitcoin does in fact fix this. So those are my takeaways from the first half of day 1. Anyways, we're gonna eat some good food and we're gonna head back to watch Mark Moss speak on the future of AI and Bitcoin on a more deeper topic. Day 1 of the Bitcoin conference is officially wrapping up, but before we end the video and transition to day 2, I want to give you a quick synopsis of the last presentation that we just witnessed from Mark Moss himself.
300 million is the number of jobs that are supposedly going to be taken away per Goldman Sachs. It's the number of jobs that are going to be lost because of artificial intelligence, because of AI.
Most of the time, people hear that and they get kind of scared and afraid because they believe that AI is going to replace their job. But what he actually mentioned, which was really amazing, is that most of the time technology increases and advances, it actually creates new jobs, new opportunities, new workplaces for people to actually transition to. Now, the only issue with that is today, as technology rapidly advances, the people continue to get poorer. You watching this video continue to lose your savings. Why? The last 110 years, they've been depreciating and stealing from you, especially since it started in 1913, where they got off the actual gold standard, and more importantly, 1913, when they actually created the Federal Reserve, okay? So the Federal Reserve is what ultimately allows someone like you to lose more money than you should, okay? That's the issue. And so ultimately, if technology advances, you should get wealthier. You should be richer. You should have more free time to do what you want to do because your money's sound. But since 1913, ever since they started printing more money that you and I use, you get poorer. And so, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that there's only 3 things that can really save you and me. Number 1, personal brand. You hear Ty Lopez talk about this all the time. You need to be someone who's actively online, someone who's valuable to the marketplace, someone who other people know for being good at something else that's valuable to them or other people they know. So you got to start posting online. You got to start making yourself known. You got to start getting out there and connecting with people. That's why I keep coming to events like this. Regardless of if it's marketing and advertising, I want to go out there and be stupid again. Feel like the stupidest person in the room. Because I don't know much about Bitcoin as maybe some of you do, but I'm here in the room. And I'm able to meet people, for example, like Mark Moss, who guess what? I'm going to be interviewing and doing a podcast with tomorrow. So stay tuned for day 2. Now, the second point, AI. So obviously AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, but ultimately it can help you improve your productivity, do your job better, get faster with what you do. So leverage it, use it, and maybe continue to invest your time, energy, and effort into it. Number 3, and last but not least, obviously the kicker here, which is why we're all here, which is Bitcoin, okay? Personal brand, AI, and Bitcoin. Because with AI and Bitcoin, you can literally preserve your wealth, your money, and more importantly, make sure you protect yourself in the future. And I'll see you in day 2.
I got beef with Dave Ramsey.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Not really.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's just the advice that
Yeah. How much Bitcoin do you have?
I have enough.
That was probably one of my favorite podcasts / just conversations I've had in my entire life. You can tell he's super knowledgeable, super successful, obviously. And I really mean when I say go follow him and go watch his YouTube channel. If you are watching me talking about the interview, we showed a clip of it, obviously. But if you want to watch the full interview, we'll put the video right here somewhere and you can watch that. It should be uploaded to our channel. You're going to want to watch it. You're going to want to take notes of it because that is an interview that will pay off dividends for you and your family in the future, guaranteed. But for now, we're going to head around, get some more conversations had in the Bitcoin Asia Conference, Hong Kong, day 2. So let's roll. Who are you guys?
I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Rochelle.
Key.
Hey, my name is Rishabh.
What do you guys do?
We are retired from corporate world.
Amazing.
We live in Boracay Island, Philippines, trying to promote the good word of Bitcoin to help the locals and the businesses. And yeah, we've been there over a year now, so we're just doing our part.
Key, what do you do?
I do growth and BDM for a stablecoin business account company.
I'm director at strategy. I'm responsible for the professional services and customer success in the region here.
What does Bitcoin mean to you?
Economic freedom, the ability to help others who need it the most, and we just do it with a passion and love helping the people.
Self-sovereignty.
Wow, yeah, both of those amazing answers.
Bitcoin means for me personally, I hold a little bit, and it doesn't mean a token to me, but it more is a digital gold.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Bitcoin, I believe, is the hardest form of money, and it means freedom to me. For sure, I believe everyone is going to adopt Bitcoin sooner or later.
Your take on spending Bitcoin right now to transact and use it as money versus hodling, and what do you guys do? Do you just hodl? Do you spend? A mix of both? None, one or the other?
We do both. We spend sats every day. We've orange pilled and onboarded many businesses that we would use every day. So local farmers on the island.
Wow.
The main dentist on the island. Our favorite restaurants on the island.
Yes.
So we do both. We spend every day, but of course we save as well.
I don't really see the actual case of you actually paying stuff with Bitcoin. Yeah.
Have you ever spent Bitcoin at all?
I I just hold.
My friend, Bitcoin is the most scarce money in the planet, right? Why would you like to spend it? He is one that bought it.
Last question. How much Bitcoin do you have?
What's Bitcoin?
How much Bitcoin do you have?
What's Bitcoin again?
I bought $200 worth, and now it's like 2,000.
So, yeah.
That's like,
That's good. That's good. And you didn't sell?
hey, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
And you're
it
gonna keep
will
buying
be
more.
100K in the future in 10 years.
There we
I don't
go.
know.
Oh, I think that's the secret.
Go check him out in the Philippines. If you're ever there, check out Mark and check out his family and go Bitcoin pill everybody.
That's be.
Awesome. Thank you so much, bro. Taking a quick break from the Bitcoin Asia conference to get outside because it's a beautiful day here in Hong Kong. And I want to share with you my honest thoughts from traveling from Miami to Asia for the very first time in my entire life. I've never been to Asia before. Before Hong Kong, I was in Shanghai. And Shanghai is definitely different than Hong Kong, but Hong Kong has impressed me. I am completely surprised. Hong Kong is basically like Miami, California, and New York City combined. Did you know that Hong Kong has the same amount of skyscrapers that New York City and Tokyo has combined? It's beautiful here. In fact, we'll take a look around real quick. We'll flash the camera around. Look behind us. If we flip the camera from that beautiful view, check out this beautiful view. All of the skyscrapers behind me too. It's insane. It's so modernized, industrialized, and the infrastructure is beautiful. I'm, again, like I said, completely surprised. Hong Kong, in terms of hospitality and experience, has also been amazing. The people here will treat you like you are supposed to be treated. I've been to many places, many states, many areas and locations. Hong Kong, by far, has been one of the most hospitable people and experiences I've ever been. They treat you like you would want to be treated. They always check in on you when you're at a restaurant or when you're eating. They'll look after you. In fact, I've had some of the best food I've had. And I'm highly considering coming back very soon and bringing my wife and my daughter because they couldn't be with me for this one. But honestly, I believe Hong Kong is very, very underrated. Not that it was before, I've never been, obviously. But if you haven't been to Hong Kong, you should definitely make it for the next Bitcoin conference potentially, or just to visit in general with your family. But again, like I said, we've been doing the Bitcoin conference, but I wanted to take you outside to show you the beautiful city. We'll turn it back around again and show you the city. But yeah, I'm gonna get some sun. I'm drinking some beautiful spring water here, and it's a windy day out, but you know what? Everything about this city has impressed me, and tomorrow we have the Admin Mastermind, Admin in Hong Kong, where we got 10 people in total flying out from all across the world, some of which are working with me and my team, obviously, but 5 of them are actually flying to Hong Kong for the very first time to experience this with me, where we're gonna mastermind for the entire day and help them scale up their businesses and make a lot more money using ads, AI, and business systems. So we're gonna head back in, get some lunch, but I'm gonna take some time, 10, maybe 20 minutes, and collect that fresh vitamin D in Hong Kong and end the Bitcoin conference off properly.
Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million, and it's going to hit a sooner rather than later.
Eric Trump just finished speaking at the VIP lounge, and he just kept saying one thing: $1 million per Bitcoin, $1 million per Bitcoin, $1 million per Bitcoin. And if that's not bullish, I don't know what is. But the most important thing is not about when Bitcoin hits $1 million. The most important thing is that you have some when eventually it does. And the most important thing you got to do to your friends, your family, is tell them to get off zero. We're finishing up day 2 of the Bitcoin Asia conference. It's been amazing. I met amazing people, as you've seen, and everybody is bullish on one thing, and that's Bitcoin.